I was going to ask, going back to your high school days again. I mean, you were famously a star basketball player as well in high school, right? And
Yes.
so, so I'm wondering, that is also such a physical activity like singing. And so, actually, we have a question from Instagram along those lines. And the question is, can you talk about any overlap, both physically and mentally, between being a competitive athlete and being a singer?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, there are so many parallels. Um, Teamwork, again, this seems to be an overarching theme, but teamwork is so incredibly related. You know, basketball, while you do everything to perfect your own your craft and your shot and your speed, at the end of the day, it's a team sport, and so you have to collaborate with the team to win the game. Same as performing opera. You know, it really is so athletic in that I, as a vocalist, am my instrument. So for me, I have to stay in some sort of good shape so that my vocal cords vibrate in a way that is as easy and smooth as possible, but also um, my actual body so that it's strong enough. We are asked of a lot in 2020 staging of opera. And you know, to run around and sing on my back as Carmen, that is very athletic. Um, so, you know, the teamwork, the athleticism of opera, again, also learning how to, this is something that people don't really talk about, but learning how to lose.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
you don't necessarily lose as a musician, but as an athlete, someone has to win a game and someone has to lose. And so it's not easy to lose, but you you look in the mirror and you say, okay, how can I improve for next time to hopefully win the game? And so it's really directly applied as well to singing because I might have an off night, you know,
Mhm.
and it's super easy to beat myself up and sulk, but at the end of the day, the show is going to go on and the next performance will happen. So, you know, you just take it as a learning experience and try to nail that high note the next show or whatever it may be. Um, yeah, and then also just persistence, practice.
Mm.
You know, I remember when I was really in the thick of playing basketball, I would wake up in the morning and have rehearsal before school, and then school, and then I would either have choir rehearsal or piano lessons. And if I still had energy, I would just like work on my shot, you know, at home, just like Kobe. Um, oh, I miss Kobe.
Oh,
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm sorry. I just have to shout him out. He was one of the reasons why I am here, honestly, because
wow.
my trajectory was from basketball to singing. But when I was playing basketball, I mean, I don't think that I missed a game that he played. And my dad and I
wow.
would watch the games together, and that was kind of like our bonding moment. And so
Oh,
a huge loss, not just for basketball fans, but he was a true icon.
Well, Janae, you had earlier mentioned about how you sing both in opera and in concerts. Can you talk a bit about how are those things different for you? And do you have advice for singers who are wanting a career in both?
Yeah, I mean, in all, recital work, operatic work, and concert work are quite different. Singing opera is, again, it's the team sport of music. And I love opera for many reasons, but one of the main reasons is to transport people into this other world and even transport myself, you know, um, to embody these different characters is super cool, you know, because I feel in every character that I've performed so far, every role, there has been a part of me that is actually that character and I can identify with. So it's fun to take that and run with it. And when I sing Carmen, I have some Carmen in me. And with concert work, you get to you get to create in a way that you don't necessarily on the operatic stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the same time, I think it must be interesting because typically in concert, you're not playing a character.
Right.
So it's a direct kind of communication, really of who you are and, drawing, it seems like you always draw so deep down from your own soul and experience. And I think, in concert work, there's like no filter for that.
That's a good point.
What would you want to say to a younger generation of musicians and singers?
I would first like to say, practice, practice, practice. It gives you so much more room, It relieves nerves. I remember I was most nervous because I just felt like I didn't know what I was doing at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got with a really great teacher and we figured out for my voice what worked best, it just alleviated all of this unnecessary stress. So practice, practice, practice. Also, know that what you have to say is enough. I have spent many, many hours, and I still do, studying closely the people that I admire so much. And it's a fine line, to not, to be who you are and express who you are, without feeling like this person did it that way and I have to do it that way because that's just the best way to do it. We all have something very valid to say. And I can't stress the importance of knowing that each and every individual is enough. Everybody's really created so beautifully. And I think the more we focus on ourselves in that way, the more honest our performance will be and the more attractive. And also tune out the noise. It's difficult because so many people will have opinions and things to say. It's a good thing for people to have opinions, but to know your truth and be able to, block it out. Important. Unless, and there's some things that are super helpful, and that actually takes experience and practice to know what to receive and what to just hear and let it go out the other ear. I like to listen to some things and hear other things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of listening, is there a song or a piece of music that's been, I don't know, particularly helpful or close to you during this time that we can suggest to our listeners to check out?
Absolutely. Like I mentioned before, I've been delving into jazz and cross-genring, and so I've been listening to Nina Simone a lot. And these days are, for me, they're kind of unpredictable. One day is really good and I'm high, and the other day it's like it feels really dark and low. So I've been listening when I get into those not so good feeling modes, I like to listen to Feeling Good.
Well, I can't think of anything better to leave our audience with than Nina Simone singing Feeling Good. And I'll just say, Janae, on behalf of Jenny and the whole Master Chorale family, thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you both so much.
We're so excited about the Mozart Requiem being broadcast this week.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to hear it.
So beautiful.
Oh, thank you. That was a special moment. That was a special time. Let's do it again.
All right, deal.